Hello, grade 12, and welcome to a new reading comprehension lesson. We will begin with Unit 3. The theme is health and nutrition, and the lesson is called TV Watching Snackers Beware. The author here is, warning the people who snack or eat snacks while watching TV. Okay, this is what I expect from you, the objectives of this lesson. Now, before we go into the lesson, I would like to answer the following discussion questions with you. Number one, how are eating habits affected by the advancement in entertainment technology? Okay, what do we mean by entertainment technology? You know, the technology that we use for fun, like PlayStation, like the tablets, TV, even the smartphones, to access social media, etc. This is entertainment technology. How have our eating habits affected by it? Science has started to show more and more that the more we are engaged in such activity while we snack, the more we eat, because we do not perceive how much we are eating. We are unaware of the amount of food or junk food that we are consuming. So we tend to eat more without being aware. Number two, which age group or groups are mostly vulnerable to this phenomena? I would say children and adolescents are the vulnerable or the weak groups, because they are the future and they have started this habit very early. Of course, adults and the elderly could also engage in entertainment technology while eating and snacking, but the vulnerable group is the children and adolescents. Adults, of course, it's even more dangerous for them because they are aging, their physical health is affected more. But the group that mostly practices this is children and adolescents. Now, what is the health tax that this issue will result in? How will it tax us as humans? Of course, cardiovascular issues, diabetes is on the increase, obesity is on the increase, types of cancers related to obesity, so many things. People will tend to be more absent from work because more people are sick. The government will have to pay so much more on healthcare because the citizens aren't being careful. They aren't being, careful about the way they're eating or their habits that could lead to issues which will tax the government. So those are the possible answers. Please, when you study this lesson, I would like you to go through them carefully. Now, words and terms related to the lesson. Of course, we need to know them before we go into the lesson. Perceptual. Perceptual is the adjective from the word perception, the noun, okay? It's relating to the ability to become aware of something through the senses. When you perceive something, the verb perceiving, it means you feel it, you hear it, you see it, you smell it. That's perceiving, okay? Cues are signals. Number three, satiety is the feeling of being full. You're satisfied, you've eaten a lot, or you've eaten enough. Number four, self-esteem is how one views themselves. Chronic is something that lasts for a very long time, and I have said this several times before. When you see the prefix chron or chrono, it means something related to time. A chronic disease or a chronic illness is something that lasts for a very long time and maybe lasts forever, with a person like diabetes, heart problems, blood pressure, other similar issues. They're chronic diseases. Nutrients are substances that provide nourishment that is important for growth and well-being, like vitamins, starches, minerals, etc. Those are nutrients we get from food. Culprits are criminals. Apnea, okay, you have to divide this word. Pnea, P-N-E-A, when you see this suffix, or if you see it as a prefix also, PNEA or PNEU, it's something related to the lungs. A means not. Okay, apnea means the inability to breathe. Of course, you probably heard of the condition sleep apnea in the respiratory system lesson, where a person, while sleeping, they just stop breathing. And then also some of them might die because of that. So they have to use a certain device while they're sleeping in order not to die while they're sleeping. Sleep apnea. Okay, this, by the way, is related, could be related to obesity. The more fat a person is, the fatter a person is, the more sleep apnea he tends to have or she tends to have. Asthma, of course, we know asthma is a respiratory condition marked by attacks or spasms in the bronchi, in the lungs of the lungs, causing difficulty in breathing. It is usually connected to allergic reactions. Many people with asthma, of course, suffer from as a result of the air pollution that's on the increase, and they have these attacks or spasms which could threaten their lives if they don't have the necessary medication next to them. Then excessive. Excessive means too much of something. Eliminate, take away. A pediatrician. Again, when you see the prefix pedi or pedia, it means something related to children. A pediatrician is a person or a doctor specializing in children and their diseases. Pediatrician. Now going to our lesson, TV watching snackers beware. You won't notice you're full if your attention is elsewhere. So cognitively, your mind is somewhere else and you're eating and you're eating and eating. Blurb, read the article below about a new research which shows how eating while doing something perceptually demanding makes it more difficult to notice when you feel full. So we already have the main idea. Paragraph 1, eating while doing something perceptually demanding, so it demands all your senses, like your sense of sight, your ears, your feelings, makes it more difficult to notice when you feel full, shows new research from the University of Sussex. Professor Martin Yeomans, Dr. Sophie Forster, and colleagues or co-workers, found that when your senses are taken up by an engaging task, you are less likely to be able to adjust how much extra food or drink you consume. Consume means take in. The team tested 120 participants, giving them lower and higher calorie drinks and giving them tasks which demanded both low and high amounts of their concentration or attention. The paper ingested but not perceived response to satiety cues disrupted by perceptual load is published today, that was when the article was written, 12 August 2020 in the journal Appetite. Okay, so this is the name of the research that was done, the research paper. The team found that participants who were fully engaged in a perceptually demanding task, okay, all their senses are being engaged, ate roughly the same amount of follow-up crisps regardless of whether or not they were initially given a high or low calorie drink. But the people who were engaged in a task which demanded less of them could adjust how much of the additional snack they ate. The people in this age group ate 45% fewer crisps like chips, etc., after the higher energy drink than after the lower energy drink. Paragraph 4, previous research has shown that when perceptual demand is high, okay, when your senses are all engaged, okay, so that's where the senses are engaged fully, then the brain filters out some of the sensory information. This is the first time that research has shown that sensory and nutrient cues associated with becoming full could be filtered out in a similar way. Professor Martin Yeomans from the School of Psychology at the University of Sussex said, Our study suggests that if you're eating or drinking while your attention is distracted by a highly engaging task, you're less likely to be able to tell how full you feel. You're more likely to keep snacking than if you'd been eating while doing something less engaging. So this is the conclusion they came up with, okay? This is important for anyone wanting to stay a healthy weight. If you're a habitual TV watching snacker, watching, say, an engaging thriller or a mystery or a film with a lot of audio or visual effects, you're not likely to notice when you feel full. Video gamers and crossword solvers should also take note. Okay, your senses are all engaged and you're eating. The cue is not correct here. You don't know that you're full already. Paragraph 6, we already knew that feeling full could be affected by the texture and appearance of food, as well as pre-existing expectations about how full we think a type of food should make us feel. Now we also know that feeling full depends on how much sensory information our brains are processing at the time. About the research, paragraph 7, 120 participants consumed either a low satiety or 75 calorie or high satiety 272 kilocalorie and thicker texture drink while simultaneously completing a task. Simultaneously means at the same time, eating and engaging in a task, which was either low or high in perceptual demand. The participants who were given the low perceptual load task and were given the high satiety drink felt more full and ate 45% less of the snack offered to them afterward. Paragraph 8, however, the participants who were given the higher load perception, the TV or the game they're playing needs a lot of perception, were less able to tell when they felt full and ate more of the snacks offered to them. The researchers conclude that a person's ability to notice when the body feels full depends on how much available attention there is left in the brain. The results provide the first evidence that load theory of attention, the idea that a person has a limited amount of sensory information they can notice, can be successfully applied in eating or to eating